Welcome, and we're so excited that you're here. I'm Kelly. I'm with DONE.photos, and I'm really glad you're here for today's conversation. This is how to build a volume photography business, and these two ladies on either side of me are experts in exactly that. So this session is for any photographers that photograph schools or sports, whether you're just dipping your toe into volume photography or you've been doing this for years and are ready for what's next. So today's guests are two people who truly live this world, the lens ladies. You can see that Venita doesn't have her name. She says the lens ladies, but she does actually have a name. It is Venita. They started as a retirement project and turned it into a growing, thriving volume photography studio. And they've done it with a lot of heart, a lot of hustle, and a really smart approach to branding and systems. They're also proud users of the DONE.photos system, which they use to help keep their operation running smoothly as they continue to grow. And they'll be sharing even more of their story at SPAC USA 2026, which is later this month. So today is a great chance to get to know them and learn from their journey. And then hopefully visit them at SPAC so that you can dive a little deeper and learn even more from them. So I'm excited to welcome Venita K and Pamela K. Stone. Venita handles the marketing, branding, and tech side of the business, while Pam keeps everything running on the people and logistics side. Together, they've built a studio that clients trust and recommend, and that's no small feat in volume photography. Thank you both so much for being here, and we're excited to jump in. So we're going to keep this conversational and fun. So I'll ask some questions to get us started. And as we go, feel free to drop any questions that you have in the chat, and we'll open things up towards the end to answer some of your questions. So go ahead and drop them in as you go so that you don't forget them. Okay. So this is for both of you, and Venita and Pam, either of you can answer. So whoever feels inspired, let us know. So you've built the Lens Ladies from a retirement project into a thriving studio. How did that journey unfold, and what do you think made the biggest difference?
Well, I'll start. Pam was helping her daughter, who was already an established photographer. And so she has MXM photography. And so she was going and helping her and having fun. And I worked in the print and promotional industry, and my job closed after 18 years of service. They were like, just newspapers are kind of changing. The face of print is changing. And so anyway, I had a little time off, and we were friends, and she was going and doing her thing and coming back, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And so we joined forces with the help of Mandy, and here we are. What do you think, Pam? What do you want to add?
She just said, if you're doing that there, why don't we do that here? And Mandy said, well, if you want to, I'll teach you everything I know. And so she said, I'll even sell you some of my equipment. Venita said, okay, let's do it.
I love that. I love that you both have different expertise, and that you were able to kind of combine that to create something really powerful. I know that you both have strengths that you kind of use together to, you have started as something small and became something that I know is large and growing, and something to look up to and learn from. So thank you for sharing that. For photographers who are new to volume work, what's the very first step you'd recommend to get their foot in the door?
You first or me first?
I say put a book in your hand and walk in the door.
Yeah. we're big advocates of having something to give someone to put in their hands, something that shows them your work and shows them why they need you. And so that is how we have built our business, is with these magazines that we created. And, you know, it's a talking point. It's an icebreaker. It's a way to say, here, I have something for you. Everybody likes to get something, right? And so here, I have something for you, and just get out there and seize the moment. You know, if you're hungry, you'll get out there and work, right? And so that's kind of our outlook on that.
I'd love to hear more about these magazines that you mentioned. What are those and how do you use them?
So, well, again, with the help of Mandy, we created our first magazine, a preschool magazine. And so that has evolved into a sports magazine and a school magazine. It's basically just what we do and how we do it with some pictures. And so we will have that available at SPAC. We're going to do a drawing for a free template of our magazine. And then it will also be available for people to look at. So we are big believers in putting something in someone's hands, and it has made a huge difference in our business.
Yes, I love that. Everything is so digital these days that it's so easy. I mean, how many emails have we already gotten today from every company we've ever talked to, right? And they just go by the wayside. I am somebody that, especially at trade shows, I love to get something in my hands too and come home and be like, okay, that company made an impression on me because I'm able to spend time with it. Right, in my quiet time when we have it, right? How many of us have quiet time anymore? But that human connection, I think, is so important. And that's what I love about the two of you is you've always presented as really caring about making a connection with people. And I think that really showcases your want and desire to make an actual human connection. Handing somebody something, I think, in today's world is huge. So do you remember your very first preschool or sports shoot? Think about that for a second. And what went hilariously wrong and still makes you laugh today?
We shot in a very, very large gym, and the lights ate us up.
Yeah, it sucked all the lights away. So we had our starter kit lights, which were a hot mess to begin with. So then they're like, oh, we have a perfect place for you in this gym. And so anybody in photography knows, like, the lower the ceilings, you know, the better the lighting is going to be. And you get in this big, huge gym with these subpar lights that we started with. And we were like, oh man, it was good though. It worked. It worked out. The pictures turned out. Thank goodness for raw photos, right?
We still photograph them today, so it's all
Yes, we
good.
do.
I love that. And Pam, you said they locked you in. How did that happen?
That we still photograph them today.
Oh, no, I thought you said that they locked you in.
Oh no.
Okay.
No. They the lights. They ate us up.
Okay. I misheard you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is, especially for new photographers, that's like a huge learning curve, right? Is the lights and how to manage them and the right ones to have. So do you have any recommendations as far as things that you've learned about lighting that you'd like to throw out to somebody that might be new?
That would be you.
More lights, more better. I mean, that's just all there really is to it. The more lights you have, the better people look. So, and having lights that don't plug in was one of the greatest moves that we made, was going to battery operated lights. And so big diffusers and lots of light, can't go wrong.
I love that. Great tip. So next question, branding and word of mouth seems central to your success. Obviously, you've already talked about that. What strategies have worked best to attract and keep clients?
What do you think? What strategies? Well, I mean, we're just consistent more than anything. I think just being consistent and being reliable says a whole lot in the industry. And so making sure that they have something with our name on it, making sure they know what to expect. Our scheduler really sets us up for success because we use a form to capture information at the time of scheduling. So we don't really have any questions. And that's another thing that we'll teach on at SPAC is our forms and the different forms that we use to accomplish different things so that there's no guesswork. And so I think that has really led to a lot of our success is making sure that we know what our client wants. And so, and making sure that they know that they can get a hold of us. What do you think? Oh, look, there's a book.
Oh, great. Is that the magazine?
That's one of them.
That's
and here's
beautiful.
a trifold. Oh.
Customers always right.
Oh yeah, that one too. Pam talks to them.
Don't let Venita talk to them.
I can talk to them. I'm just matter of fact.
I know that to be true, Venita, and I also know you to be kind. So
I am.
All right, just as a reminder to those of you sitting listening, if you have a question, please let us know. And as I speak, there's one. Okay. From Denise Weiler, wondering how you were able to hand over a magazine to the right people. I like this in-person tangible concept, but mailing it seems the easy route. Great question.
We'll put it in anybody's hands. And so we don't mail them. We put them in people's hands. And so whether it's, we're at a preschool, which is how we really started. We at one point we had like 40 something preschools before we started really switching gears. And so our goal was just to get that in the right person's hands. And so how you do that is you show up. And so then whenever we would do meetings with sports, board meetings, everybody got a magazine. Whenever we would do a meeting at a school, everybody at the table got a magazine. And so it's just a useful tool to utilize, that handing that to somebody. It just makes a huge difference. And then as they're looking at your work, that's what a picture says 1,000 words.
Okay, and then follow-up question to that is, how do you get into a board meeting? Or who do you ask for?
Google.
We've done all kinds of stuff. So some of it's been word of mouth. Some of it has been, just reaching out and just saying, hey, we want to meet with you guys. And so the worst they can say is no. And then we just go next. And so that's just kind of how it's worked out for us. And so not next that we're not going to circle back, because we will circle back. But that's, what do you think, Pam?
You ask, like, who do I ask for to get a meeting with? Like, who is the person that I need to ask?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is that initial person that you ask when you reach out, or what's the initial Google that you do to make that initial connection?
So for preschools, we would Google state
director.
the preschool directory. Every state has one that tells where they are and what their ratings are and who the director is and how that all works. With the youth sports, you just get on Facebook and send little messages through Messenger, or send messages through Google, or go to their little website and send a little message. Who do I need to talk to? And they're going to tell you, or they're going to blow you off. Either way.
And usually on the websites for sports, it tells you, if you have questions.
The commissioner, the commissioner of that youth organization.
Great questions, Denise. Thank you. Does that answer your questions pretty good? And I think that the moral of the story for that, great. I think the moral of the story for that is you will get the right things in the right hands if you give it to everybody. It will be also in the wrong hands too, right? And but blanket everybody. You cannot give away too many things, right? So the people that are not looking for you will throw them away. Yes, but the people that are looking for you now know how to come back and talk to you. So
Well, the other thing is if this isn't the right person, would you mind sharing it with the person who wants it or needs it?
yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
Asking for referrals. All
I
right,
think
Denise has one more question. When you get into a meeting, do you both go in or just one of you?
Both. Numbers is always better.
a cord of two strands is stronger, right? And so one falls, the other one gets up, and so we'll finish each other's sentences, and it just works really well.
Great, I love that. And you both have different expertise, so you know when they ask questions and you're both there, you can answer literally everything. Okay, so next question. When you look at a big job, like a school with hundreds of students, how do you prepare and execute smoothly from start to finish?
Roster is the best.
Okay, so flesh that out a little bit for us. What do you mean by roster and what do you do with it? Where do you get it?
You're gonna share you.
So we create a roster. We ask that they provide us with the name, the student's name, the student's grade, the teacher's name, and the parent's email. That's all we ask for. And then once we have that, we're able to communicate with that parent and show them the student's photo and communicate with them throughout the purchasing process. And, you know, if they purchase, and show them the proofs and what have you. That's all we need. Once we have that, that's it. Like, that's all we need.
I think that's the real difference, though, is having that roster. And so it's turnkey for whoever our client is. So we tell them, we just need your roster, right? We just need the contact information. If the parents have a question, you say you should have gotten an email. If not, contact thelensLadies.com. Right. And so it takes the burden off of them. We initiate communication before photo day. We don't wait until the pictures are ready to initiate conversation. We send out an email in advance saying, hey, your picture day is in 3 days, or your picture day is tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. That way, whenever they ask somebody at the school or at the coach, or, you know, whatever the case may be, when they reply, you should have received an email. If not, reach out to thelensLadies.com. That statement is true because we've sent out an email. And so the last thing someone wants to do is miss out. And so if they did not get that email and they know an email went out, they will reach out. And so it's very important for us to have that roster because we open up that line of communication. We're able to stay organized on photo day because that is golden. Trying to deal with envelopes and who paid and who didn't pay. And, you know, you've got hundreds of students. It's just not really feasible to be able to compress that time and photograph that many people at once in a quick time, because, you know, they were looking for a photographer, right? And but they only want to give you 3.5 seconds per student. Well, that's probably why they were looking for a photographer. So the faster we can go, the better it is. And having that roster and just being able to pull up that student's name, scan their QR code, photograph the student, next has made it's made it better on my end on receiving, and I know better on her end as she's photographing. So
we had a parent last night say, now how do I see these photos? And it's like, well, the director gave me your email before we got started, and once these photos are ready, you will be contacted.
Yeah,
it was that easy.
Great. So you have found that moving away from the prepaid you know, frame of mind has actually helped you go much faster.
Yeah. We're looking forward to prepay through our system. There are some smaller schools or some smaller organizations that we do require them to have 100% participation to even come set up. So that will be valuable, but it'll still run through a roster that's given to us. It will still be handled the same on photo day with, you know, pull up the name, scan the QR, keep going.
Perfect. Great. Okay, next question. Sorry, go ahead. Did you have something else, Pam?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem. As you scaled up, what systems or tools became essential for keeping everything organized and professional?
The calendar booking.
Yeah. Our booking calendar keeps us, it automatically goes into our Google Calendar, and it automatically tells us everything we need to know, from who we need, who is the contact person, what their phone number is, what their mailing address is. If we're mailing them something, a lot of our clients will send, depending on what it is, are we sending them prints, or are we sending them vinyl, what, you know, and so that information is right there. There's no questions. And it also gives them the ability to let us know, like, how many we're photographing. Is it co-ed? Do they need us to bring equipment? Will they provide equipment? There's a lot of questions on our intake form, and you can see that at thelensladies.com, and just click on any category and act like you're going to book, and you can see those questions, and we'll be teaching on that in SPAC, but that keeps us straight.
Great. I love that. Automate, right?
As much as possible.
Okay, what's one early mistake you made that you'd warn other studios to avoid?
You first.
Mm-mm.
Look at the dynamic of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the dynamic of the organization. We found that there are good reasons why some people are looking for photographers. And so to just be mindful, and it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, you know what? Yes, I made some money, but I don't think it was worth the money that I made. And so not content, you know, just being mindful of your time, and knowing what your worth is. Knowing what your worth is.
Great point. I love that. Okay, for studios that are already established, what's the next level of growth they should be thinking about?
You first. Okay. Always learning, staying in a posture of being a student, always learning, always collaborating. And then what is it that you want to do next? You know, you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. And so if you're the smartest person in the room, you got to find some more people, right? And so, not to say you leave your people that you're smarter than, because like collaboration, right? Everybody you reach up and you reach down, like everybody wins, right? And so but just knowing, hey, what do I want the next level of my business to be? For us, it was pardon me, it was a transition. We went from preschool to youth sports. Mandy was essential in that. She said, hey, come and shoot with us. And so being able to shoot with a photographer that already had systems in place, and then education, like going to boot camps. There's some good boot camps out there. Going to SPAC. SPAC was a wonderful resource for us the year that we made that transition into youth sports. And so we learned a lot. We learned a whole lot. We even walked away with some things that we said we will absolutely not do. But the fact of the matter is we were exposed to a lot of people who were doing what we wanted to do, and we were able to learn. And so taking those extra classes and just always being in a posture of learning has really made a difference in our growth and how fast we've grown.
Great. If you had to sum up your business philosophy in one sentence, what would it be?
That's Pam.
Customer's always right, even when they're not.
Even when they're not. Let me say that again. Even when they're not.
And I understand that you guys get a lot of referrals, right? That you get a lot of customers from other customers. And I'm assuming that that philosophy is a big part of the referrals that you receive.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 and 3 hours away.
But they say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and thank you and please.
I was driving home last night at midnight.
Wow. From 2 or 3 hours away.
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
That is dedication right there.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think
All right.
one of those came from you guys. I think initially.
Yep. Very likely. We like to give you work. Okay, you'll be presenting on this topic at SPAC, which we have mentioned several times, so make sure that you visit them at SPAC, you guys. But can you give us a sneak peek of what attendees will take away from your session?
So I do want to say we are presenting on Saturday morning at SPAC. We're going to be in Sonoma A, and they got us there first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. So make sure to go into the Hoover app and kind of heart it or start or whatever it is that you do. I can't remember, but it'll show up in your Google Calendar if you're connected. But a little sneak peek. I can actually, can I screen share? I don't want to like give my presentation, but I do want to show something. Can I do that?
You want to show a video, don't you?
I don't want to show a video.
Oh,
no.
okay. Yeah, you can share your screen. Go ahead.
Let's see. Share screen. Entire screen. We'll do this one. So I'm just going to show y'all the top of our header. Can y'all see that? So we love this one company that uses a red dot in their logo. So I was super inspired. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but they're called DONE, and we just love them. So this is Beyond the Lens, and that's what we're going to present on while we're in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about digital media. We're going to talk about our website and how that came about and how it's grown with us. We're going to give a sneak peek into all of our media materials, the things that really set us apart from the time that we book until the time that we show up there to take photos. Customer acquisition. Everybody wants to know, how do you do it? How do you get the accounts? We're going to touch on that in SPAC. We have the most amazing CRM. We love our customer relationship manager, our gallery deliverer, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we use the CRM within our platform to really maximize and communicate with our customers. We use some forms to help streamline everything, and we love our forms, and so you're going to have access to all of those. Our scheduler that we talked about that keeps us straight, we're going to give everybody the heads up on that. We'll talk a little bit about the different resources that we use, and so we're just excited. We're excited to present. We're excited to I mean, it's just a wonderful opportunity. And so that's it. That's the sneak peek.
Great. That was wonderful. Makes me want to go to it, which I will be, but I'm sure it did everybody else too.
You'll have to introduce us.
Yeah, right. We'll talk about that. Okay, so we've covered a lot today, and I know this group always has great questions. Keep them coming if you come up with any more. Anybody is welcome to send questions our way also, and we can get them to the Lens ladies to answer even after this is over. So if there's something you're curious about, whether it's getting started, scaling up, branding, or just surviving picture day, drop your question into the chat or send us an email, and we'd be happy to get you that answer. So Venita and Pam, thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience today. You make it clear that building a successful volume photography business doesn't have to be complicated, but it does take intention, good systems, and a lot of heart. For those of you heading to SPAC, you'll get to hear even more from them, and they'll go deeper into how they've grown this amazing studio that they have. You'll also find the DONE.photos team at SPAC. We'll be in booths 509, 511, and 608. No, we are not covering the whole floor. Those are right by each other, if that's confusing to you. But we'll have live demos throughout the show. We'll also be hosting a sideshow on Friday, January 23rd from 11:30 to 1:30. So check us out there too. We'd love to have you join us either at the booth or our sideshow. So what today really shows is that success in volume photography isn't about shortcuts. It's about doing the basics exceptionally well and building relationships that last. That's what these ladies are really great at, and that's why their studio is really great. So thanks again for spending time with us today. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun with it. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.